What is poppin', y'all, everybody? It's a man, Cloutboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Weekly Wednesday Predictions, coming to you not on Wednesday because it's Christmas and there are games on Wednesday and it's a busy time for everybody, so I'm making this video right now because at this point, why not? Anyways, you're probably going to see this on Christmas Eve. Regardless, I hope you have a great Christmas and happy holidays to all who celebrate. Anyways, let's get down to business. We have 5 days of football in this next week. Everything is really spread out. So starting with Wednesday, on Christmas Day, we have a doubleheader on Netflix. The first time Netflix is streaming games on that day. First off, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh has had to face the Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens in the last two matchups, and both have not gone their way. I just don't see it working out with Kansas City, and with Kansas City winning, they will be able to clinch the bye, which means no other teams will really have a shot at it. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins. They'll clinch the bye. Kansas City has just been coming through with lucky wins. That's just how it's been. Baltimore Ravens at Houston Texans. Houston, gruesome injury by Tank Dell ending the season. They don't really have much to play for. Houston does. I mean, other than positioning, I guess that's a win would be great against Baltimore, but right now, I think Baltimore wins, and if they do win, they will win their division. I think Baltimore will beat Houston. I think they are the 10 times the better team. Thursday Night Football, we have a matchup, Seattle Seahawks at the Chicago Bears. I still just think Chicago, they've been playing so bad. As much as Caleb Williams has not committed a turnover, it's just hard to see the Bears in the state like right now. Ever since the Hail Mary, they've just been a disaster. Seattle is currently trying to vie for a playoff spot. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears were actually able to knock off Seattle, but since Seattle needs this game more than Chicago does, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Then we have a triple header on Saturday. All those games will be on the NFL Network due to college football bowl games, I think. Well, yeah, they're not. But anyways, it's a triple header. First, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New England Patriots. Chargers need this win to get into the postseason. A win would be good here. Patriots are pretty much out of it and playing for pride at this point because they know they're on a rebuild. But the Chargers, I feel like, are the better team, so I'm just going to go with the Chargers. Next up, the Denver Broncos taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Even though Denver has the better record, Cincinnati I still think is the better team. They've just had one of the worst miserable seasons ever. It just sucks to see Burrow, Chase, and Hendricks having career years. But the Cincinnati still has a shot at the playoffs if they win out. So Cincinnati, I feel like, needs this game more than Denver does. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to defeat the Denver Broncos at home. This is, I think, a more meaningful game for them. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams need this win to pretty much clinch a spot in the playoffs. It would take off the pressure of Seattle because they would need this to clinch. I think they would actually, if I'm correct, if Seattle loses, then it'll be out of it. But I think Los Angeles really needs this. I think if they'll win, it's not going to mean as much. I think Arizona's officially out of it. They're playing for pride. They got nothing to play for. I'm going to go with the Rams. And then it's just weird how there's not as many games on Sunday just due to how many are on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But here we are at this point. First up on Sunday, we have the New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills. New York's playing for pride at this point. If the Chiefs win or the Chiefs lose, Buffalo still has a shot to get the bye. This game is going to mean a lot more for Buffalo. So I feel like Buffalo needs a great performance out of Josh Allen and a good win. If not, they're just going to be playing for pride again. And if Kansas City beats Pittsburgh, then clearly Buffalo is going to get the 2 seed and they don't really have anything to play for. I'm just going to say Buffalo wins anyways. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders at New Orleans Saints. Two teams that are just so miserably bad, I don't really know what to think of it. I'll just go with the Saints. Next up, Indianapolis Colts at New York Giants. Because this game means more to Indianapolis because they have officially not been eliminated yet and the New York Giants are so bad any team could literally beat them. Have to easily take the Colts on this one. The Giants are just so bad right now. They should with the number 1 overall pick. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, the rivalry part 2. It should be a good game. Dallas, is playing for pride. I felt like they had been playing better as of recently, but I just feel like it's all too late. Philadelphia, they lost Jalen Hurts to a concussion. My belief is he should be back. But Philly, if they want the bye, they need to win this game. Losing last week was huge. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to sweep Dallas this season. Next up, Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carolina is playing for pride. Despite them losing games, this team has actually been playing really good. And it sucks to see them losing the games in heartbreaking fashion, but Tampa Bay losing to Dallas was huge. And Tampa Bay really needs this win going forward. And with that being said, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I feel like they are the better team in that division. Next up, Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville Jaguars. The fact that I even have to say these two teams is just, the fact is, it's just embarrassing. I don't even know why this matchup is even existent. Give me Jacksonville. I don't know. Next up, Miami Dolphins at Cleveland Browns. Miami, again, they are trying to get in the postseason. Cleveland is just playing for pride at this point. Miami needs this more than anything, so I'm going to go with the Dolphins because they got to try to get a win here. If they don't win, it would be big. Next up, Green Bay at Minnesota. So this is actually the only one of the this is like one of the only games that actually is meaningful. It's a division rivalry. Minnesota still has a chance at getting the 1 seed and winning the division. It's very possible Minnesota can do it. But Green Bay, knowing that they likely won't win the division now, still 2 games behind because Detroit won, Green Bay needs to obviously try to maybe get themselves, because Minnesota, if they beat Minnesota and then Minnesota loses to Detroit next week, then yeah, Green Bay can actually get second, which is a cool thing to actually see happening. But as of right now, Green Bay, Minnesota, it's going to be a very tight game. I am so perplexed on who to pick right now. I feel like Minnesota is actually going to be playing under pressure, and I can't believe, I know I'm a Packers fan, but I feel like Minnesota, they've been getting lucky with wins. I feel like Packers are actually going to come into this game because they're going to come into this game with no pressure at all, and I think they are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're holding out their players. They're going to put them out at the right moment. I think we can beat them. Next up, Atlanta Falcons. And then Sunday Night Football is actually a good playoff implicating game. We have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Washington Commanders. Atlanta decided to get rid of they're getting rid of Kirk Cousins. They decided to finally go with Michael Penix. He played good. It was against the Giants, but really wasn't more than anything. But Atlanta with their win and the Buccaneers lost. Atlanta, if they win out, can win the division. It's very possible. They had to face a Washington team where pretty much led by Rookie of the Year favorite Jaden Daniels. Between the two, it's going to be an interesting one. Washington, I feel like, is the better team still. I just feel like this will be a tough game for Penix. If Penix loses, it's just going to be hard to sit there and it's going to be hard because I feel like Tampa Bay should do what their own damage. I'm going to go on and say I'm going to go with Washington. And then Monday Night Football. This would have been a great game. This would have been an unbelievably great game if the 49ers didn't have the slum of the season that they did. But you know what? It is what it is. 49ers are just completely overrated this year. Nothing's going right for them. They have officially been eliminated. Not going to sit there and say much bright. Detroit, if they really want to take a shot, I think Detroit, obviously, since they got eliminated by this team in the playoffs, I feel like this is the revenge game. Campbell's not going to back down. There's just no way. I'm taking the Detroit Lions. So that's that. We are to this week. This is the last games pretty much in December, and then we're into the month of January, which means we are almost to playoff football. 2 more weeks of regular season football, and then we have officially made it to the postseason, which is just crazy how time really flies because I just can't believe it's already Christmas. It just happened like that. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time. Have a happy Christmas and a happy holidays, and obviously stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.